recording. So this is VIVE here. I'm in the trade. It's just broken through the VWAP, and I took some profit on that break. So I've gotten myself down to 636 shares, and now the next halt level is at 903. So I'm watching this for a possible halt, but then it pulls back here for a little bit, as you can see on this 1 minute chart. So it pulls back, and then this is where I stepped up to the plate. All right, so right here during this pullback, I'm watching it, and now I'm thinking if it breaks over 9, that this thing has a really good shot at going up to 950 and then going up to 10. So I'm watching it. I've got my hand on the buy button right here. I want to buy a dip, so boom, I jump in right there. I buy on this little dip. I'm trying to anticipate a 1 minute micro pullback. There we go, there's 9. I added 9. I have now 12,000 shares of an $8 stock. I'm not going to say that that's not a big position. It is, but this is the market that I'm training myself to be aggressive in. This is the market that I've been waiting for all year. October, November, December. So I stepped up to the plate with a big position. Now we've got the halt level at 903. All right, so we have a little bit of pullback here for a second. I'm kind of like, oh, let's see what happens. Halt level's now moved up to 928. This, at this very moment, is not, in hindsight looking at it, that's kind of moment of truth, because I got in on a 1 minute setup. I'm in with a pretty big position. But I have a good amount of conviction that if this thing breaks over 9, originally I thought it was going to get halted at 903 and then resume probably higher and squeeze right to 990. So there's the break, and now through that break, I'm taking some profit, which is the smart thing to do because the halt level's moved up quite a bit. So I take a little profit on that break, the break of the whole dollar, and now I'm holding 3,500 shares, and I'm going to see, what's it going to do? And just like that, it flashes back down. So good thing I took a little profit through that $9 spot. Now I'm on 3,500 shares and I'm in the red. It's back up to 9, so I'm going to kind of unwind the position here. Now I will end up taking another trade on this, but what I want to do is I want to fast forward here to right around 11:08. All right, so on this one here at 11:08. I was watching VIVE right down here. And as you can see on the 5 minute chart, it had been consolidating here, consolidating right under this level. But there was something about it that I didn't feel comfortable with. I just didn't feel like this was set up quite right. And so it had the high of 950. And I watched here and I could tell there was a hidden seller. I could see that there were buying orders going through, but it wasn't breaking that level. And even though originally I had thought I would get in at 950 and that would probably give us a break and then a move up to 990, at this moment, the stock's got 10 million shares of volume. It's a little extended off the 9 moving average. The pullback entry down here of 20 would have been okay, but I didn't take it because I hesitated because at that time, the spreads were a little bit bigger. So now it breaks, but does a false breakout. Now what happens when a stock does a false breakout is a lot of people buy it who are watching it because they're thinking, oh, it's going to break 950 and then it's going to surge up to 975, 990 or whatever the case is. The second it doesn't, now this person who just bought at 950 is down 30 cents. So they hit the bid, they bail out, and then short sellers see that weakness, they go short, and they set their stop at the high of the false breakout. So watch what's going to happen here. Whoa. That's a drop down to 830. And that's where the educated intuition really comes into play. So I was very clear. I said, you know what? I don't trust this false breakout. There's something about it that I'm just not feeling. It feels a little too extended. The volume on these candles is really light when it should be higher as we're coming into this breakout. It already did this big whip right on this candle here. That's this one right here where it made a high and then dropped down. And so I said, I don't think I can trust it. If I had taken this trade, I probably would have bought 6,000 to 9,000 shares around, I don't know, 930 to 940. I'd be down over 10 grand if I held through this drop. So that educated intuition saved my day. Now, that's not to say I didn't have some losses today, because I did. And that's bound to happen, and that's okay. But being able to avoid the losses that can be crushing is really important. All right. So anyway, so that was VIVE. That one is now coming back down. It was not able to break the highs. In fact, it's coming back down towards the lows. I mean, this is a huge range, but this is the type of stuff that we're seeing right now. So VIVE I did the best on. DTSS was not on my watch list pre-market, but of course I traded it yesterday, and as it broke 4 right here, I jumped in for the break of $4, and we had a nice move here up to 550. It then comes back down. It drops down here. It halts once going down. A second time going down, it resumes. It hits a low of 385, and I bought 310 shares at 386. 1 cent off the low of the pullback. I added another 3,000 shares at I think it was 418. Squeezes up to a circuit breaker halt at 445. Now I'm up 25, 30 cents. It resumes and squeezes a little higher to 72, and that gave me a really nice win. So I had 2 winners on this. The first one was the breakthrough 4, holding into a halt at 420. Second halt at 445. Third halt at 568. Third halt up here at 506. Fourth one up here at 560. Then halt going down, bounce off the lows. I was watching this to see if it would curl back up, but right now it's below the VWAP, and it's not doing that just yet. So, this has been a pretty awesome day. VIVE and DTSS, BNGO being a little lower priced, it's been halted. I can't even count how many times it's been halted. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. 13 times. My goodness. All right, so that was pretty crazy. Now, the high a day on it is 74. It's actually holding up relatively well. The problem is it's getting halted like every 20 cents. This is a low price stock that's halting very quickly. So the average price, the bands right now are a halt going down at 330 and a halt going up at 230 and 260. I mean, I'm certainly interested in it above 274, but it's going to get halted at 260. And then the question is, does it resume higher? And on this one, some of the halts have resumed and then dropped and resulted in halts going down. So it's been kind of tricky, but it is holding up relatively well. So let's put this candle here at the high. We can draw this line, maybe kind of like this. It's just not gonna make a clean break of 3 because it'll halt several times before it breaks 3. So anyways, this overall has been really a impressive day. I mean, there's no question about it. These last 3 days the market has been on fire. $37,000 in 3 days. I mean, you guys have seen it right here. Those of you who are Warrior Pro students, you'll see the live trading archives. It can be done. A $583 account can be turned into 100 grand, especially when we've got this type of market, and that 100 grand can be turned into $1 million during these types of markets. I know because I did it. So, it's pretty exciting. This is some impressive stuff. Those of you guys watching on YouTube, I, again, always encourage you to leave questions and comments down below and check out some of the links in the description if you're trying to think about and figure out how to get started as a trader. And, Darren, absolutely. At the end of last week, I was feeling pretty bummed out because at the end of last week, I had 2 red days. I was down 11 grand. And I had given back, all of the profit of the entire month. I was actually red on the month. And I was not expecting this type of action these 3 days. There's no way to anticipate it or predict it. But for the most part, I'm trading the market that's right in front of me. I am being more aggressive, and I'm trying to capitalize on this window of opportunity. This window will at some point close and the market will slow back down. But the good news is through October, November, December, and January, I statistically make the most money. And it's thanks to little clusters of days like these where I make, 37,000, 40,000, 50,000. My best 2-day hot streak was $70,000, $72,000 in 2 days. Which is pretty crazy, right? So my second best one was 56,000. And, this is maybe my third best hot streak here with 37,000 in 3 days. And let's see what we can do tomorrow. Momentum is hot. The market is on fire. Today was just about my best day of the week until that last trade on BNGO. And if I do take a couple trades this afternoon, I'll see if I can get myself over 15,000, but I'm not sure if I will. VIVE has come back down quite a bit. DTSS isn't doing much, and BNGO being a little cheaper is a little harder for me to get a really good kind of entry point on. But we'll see. I'll be keeping an eye on the markets because this is a time where I do have to dig deep. I have to spend a little more time in the chair, try to be a little bit more disciplined, and just keep myself